Donald Trump wants over $200 million from the DOJ for being harassed. Okay, listen very carefully, everybody. Pay attention throughout this video. You'll feel 1,000% better, because I think a lot of you are freaking out on all of these different things that he's throwing out instead of thinking it through and understanding why he's doing what he's doing. So the core of this is this: ESGN. What does that stand for? Epstein, shut down, gerrymandering, and no kings. And with the exception of gerrymandering, he's losing the majority of those things. And what's happening right now is that we just had this No Kings Day with 7 million people, and he's concerned. He's very concerned, because he knows that if this catches up to his assets, if in fact this whole No Kings thing kicks off, he's going to be able, he's gonna look really bad. So what does he do? The same thing he did with the first No Kings. Remember that? I might bomb Iran. I could bomb Iran. Ooh, look, I bombed Iran. In this case, he's throwing the kitchen sink. I want $200 million from the DOJ. I should be getting it. I am going to tear down the East Wing, and then I'm going to rage and say you shouldn't have took pictures. I am going to pardon Diddy, and I did pardon George Santos. Do you realize what's going on? Do you see it? I want you to decode this, because I have a group called the Clarity Group that does this all the time. We decode, train you how to decode the drama, identify the real data, which is ESG and what's really going on, and how to really go forward and begin to develop a better you. Listen, we got a little less than 170 weeks of this clown. And even with him, you know, even if he passes out dead because of his health or something, we still got JD Vance. And so what are we going to do in this time? Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing, and I'll tell you what I'm teaching Clarity members to do, is to think and be able to develop. Think, do what you can, and develop yourself. Because you don't control shit. You only control you. That doesn't mean you don't help democracy, but let me tell you the biggest thing you can do to help democracy, especially anybody who's a boomer or Gen X. Listen, if you don't like social media, you don't like democracy. I'll say it again. If you don't like social media, you don't like democracy. The reality is we are now a world where it's not about getting out doing the activism. 7 million is fine. It's the 1 billion views that matter. So what does that mean for you? That basically means what you have to do is get a private social media account. Don't nobody know who you are if you don't want your face on there. And you can create content out there talking about our narrative. We are fighting the narrative. Trump is not battling the movement. Trump is out marketing it. When he sends out him on a plane pooping on people, that got more attention. When he's talking about $200 million he should get, that got more attention. When he's talking about, you know, tearing up the Eastern Ballroom and then putting out and how mad he is over it, that got more attention. When he talked about pardoning George Santos, that got more attention. When he talked about possibly pardoning Diddy, which he probably will, that got more attention. Do you realize what this man masters at? I teach this every Tuesday in my Clarity Group, is how to really just deal with the narrative that's happening right now. It's narrative warfare. And I bring up the recent things. We started this right after the first No Kings Day, the narrative warfare training. And on Saturdays, I train people how to empower your peace in the midst of Trumpism and how to get better peace and greater peace where you're at. You got to understand, we are being brainwashed on the left just as much on the right. On the left has to do with HOL. That's what freaks you out. You don't understand the history, the operation, and the laws of our government. So when you hear the craziest thing that happened with ICE, it freaks you out. It is horrible, yes. But understand, this stuff is where the problem is. Because we suffer, most Americans, in ignorance of our government, our history, operation, and laws of our government. Okay? So I'm not giving you a civics lesson in the clarity group, but I am giving you a clarity lesson. We decode the drama he's doing. We identify the data that's out there, and then we take you directly over to developing yourself. How can you do you? There's so many of you worried about out there, and you're not worried about in here, in your home, in your head, in your heart, in your spirit. Then what we do is take it to the next level, which is now that you're decoding this, now that you're doing this on a regular, what is the blueprint for doing this? Because if you have the blueprint and you understand the blueprint, you never fall for this crap again. You realize it's a lie. You realize the problems out there. You understand this is decoding the data. If you can decode the data, you win. If you can decode what's going on, this man will never make you nervous. See, tyranny comes from fear, but fear is the birth child of ignorance. And once we know more about this, and we're better in our HOL, history, operation, and laws of our government, we're better. There's one other thing we got to cover, though. That's the internal stuff, HOL, history, operations, laws of our government. There's an external part that's out there, and they're called the ACDs. On the left, we got the alarmists, the conspiracy, and the doomsday people. Oh, he's taking over democracy. No, he hadn't. Calm the fuck down. No, you hadn't. And that's why you need continual training in your head. The reality is that, yeah, you know what was stolen. And since that happened, he's been gaming left and right, left and right, left and right. But not just the right, like literally left and right. And what you got to understand is the alarmists who go out there and say, breaking news and da-da-da-da-da, and they throw that stuff out there. And what's hurting is that they don't give you any context, any summary, what this means, basically. What we need is more of that. And we do have a lot of that, but we need more. Then the next thing is the conspiracy theorist people, the people who are always out there telling you, well, you know, this happened and blah, blah, but they're not giving you any direction. They're just having you more suspicious of stuff. We don't need more conspiracy about the you-know-what stolen. We know it was stolen, but there's nothing we can do about it now until we get past this administration. What we need to focus on more of is what's being done and attended to make sure that 26 and 28 are not stolen. And there are things being done. We do have allies. In the Clarity Group, I talk about our database of allies, which are the 23 attorney generals and governors who have been doing a great job for the last almost 40 weeks. There are hundreds of nonprofits like Indivisible that put together NoKingsDay.org. There's ACLU that's been in the courts battling left and right. There's NAACP. Who've been fighting for everybody, not just black folks and people of color. You know, and there's a whole bunch of other ones who've been fighting left and right. In many cases, winning, but they don't talk about that. That's why I'm working on a database now. Then the third group, let's talk about the third group. It's the lower court judges. And before you scream out, yeah, but the Supreme Court, do you know? And this is why you suffer from HOL, history, operation, laws of our government. Do you know the Supreme Court only handles 1% of the cases? 99% are done by the lower courts. And out of lower courts, though not all the judges, there are 677 judges across 94 districts across 50 states. And what we've seen in the last almost 40 weeks is that there are judges not only on the Democratic liberal side, but there are Reagan, both Bush, and Trump appointed judges that have been striking down Trump's shed. He can't take everything up to the Supreme Court. This is the type of stuff you need to know in the Clarity Group. Again, link in the description on the home page. I want you to understand what's really going on. We're going to be okay. It's going to be ugly. We're going to have losses. I'm not going to tell you, oh, it's Pookie Rainbows, nothing's wrong. No. What I'm telling you is that you need to invest more time into getting in-depth understanding, one, and repeated understanding, two, of these issues. We're not going to go into alarmism. By the way, alarmists are not allowed in my group. Conspiracy theorists are not allowed in my group. Doomsday people are not allowed in my group. Negative people are not allowed in my group. We are talking about what is being done, the progressive stuff. Are you a progressive, a real one, who doesn't come in here panicking over everything? You first calm down. The first thing you're going to do when you get in the group, this is what you're going to do. You're going to first welcome, introduce yourself. There's a post at the top, one of the top 3 posts saying, welcome, introduce yourself. The second thing you're going to do is go over to the classroom and go through decoding the drama, and then just go from section after there. Because again, we're going to decode the drama as another section called identifying the data. And then the third section I'm talking about is developing a better you. That's the real answer. That's the real answer. And I'm still adding in some of the stuff in there. You get in there tonight, you should, because the price is going up. And I'm telling all of y'all, it is worth it, because there's nothing else out there. Nothing else out there that works at this level. It just doesn't. And you should get in. It's an investment in you. That's the smartest thing you can do. And I'm telling you right now, if this $200 million whatever that he's talking about demanding, one, he ain't gonna get it, and two, it's all designed, is hype, and a flash to outshine the No King's Day, to outshine the gerrymander, to outshine the shutdown, which he's getting killed on the shutdown, and to outshine Epstein. That's what it comes from. Decode, identify, and develop.